Welcome back to Fulgur Channel, your go-to source for in-depth analysis on global affairs. And today, we have a breaking story that has sent shockwaves through international waters. As tensions escalate in the South China Sea, the U.S. and the Philippines have taken a bold stand against Chinese intrusion. Recent reports reveal that 15 Chinese ships, despite diplomatic tensions, were found lingering dangerously close to Pag-asa, a move that has triggered a swift response. Before we delve into the response, let's understand why Pag-asa is a focal point in the South China Sea dispute. It's a territory claimed by the Philippines, and the presence of foreign vessels raises serious concerns about sovereignty. As reports of more than 100 Chinese ships swarming around Pag-asa Island emerge, the Department of Foreign fired off a diplomatic protest, the second since the sinking in June of a Filipino fishing boat by a Chinese trawler. Locsin's announcement came after National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon Jr. proposed that the government protest China's incursion in the waters around Pag-asa. When asked if he was adopting Esperon's recommendation to file a diplomatic protest, Locsin said he did so already. The Philippines filed a diplomatic protest against China over the ramming and sinking by a Chinese vessel of a Filipino fishing boat near Recto Bank and leaving the fishermen floundering at sea. At the weekly Capienza Manila Bay News Forum, Esperon said filing of a diplomatic protest is the right move. There are so many Chinese fishing vessels there. The newest last July 24, 113 boats have been spotted, and we are currently looking at it, and I have recommended filing diplomatic action, Esperon said. Pag-asa Island, occupied by Filipino civilians and Marines, is the country's biggest and most strategically important outpost in the West Philippine Sea. Esperon, also chairman of the National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea, cited a recent report showing 113 Chinese fishing vessels swarming around Pag-asa Island last July 24 and 61 in February this year. A digital map presented by the former military chief, however, showed that most of the fishing vessels seemed to have retreated from the vicinity the other day, with only 3 spotted. But this was because of bad weather, he said. They have another island they retreat to Subi, Zamora Reef, he said, explaining the government was unsure of the Chinese motivation behind the incursion. We want to read the minds of the People's Liberation Army, but we may not be correct all the time. Suffice it to say that we are aware of that. That's why we need to strengthen our position we are in possession, said Esperon, apparently alluding to the confusion over President Duterte's statement during his State of the Nation address that China was in possession of the West Philippine Sea. Some officials, including Esperon, claimed that what the president really said was in position. Zamora Reef in the West Philippine Sea is one of the land features reclaimed and fortified by China. It is closest to and much bigger than Pag-asa Island and has its own airstrip. The upgrading of Pag-asa Island and the repair of its eroded runway commenced last year. A report from think tank Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative found that the Chinese Navy, Coast Guard, and fishing vessels have been operating near Zamora Reef as early as July 2018, around the same time Pag-asa Island repairs started. Esperon also downplayed China's assurance that it would not initiate armed confrontation. Any country can say that, of course they would say, we will not fire the first shot. Who will fire the first shot? What country would say that? No one. Same with us, he said. Chinese Ambassador Zhao Jianhua said on Monday at the 92nd anniversary celebration of the founding of the PLA that China is committed to peaceful approach to resolving the South China Sea issue, and that it would only use its military for self-defense. The U.S. has begun advising the Philippines on the repair of a World War I-era warship grounded on an atoll in the South China Sea. People familiar with the matter told Nikkei, demonstrating Washington's commitment to protecting Manila's maritime rights in the face of growing tensions with China. The Philippines intentionally grounded the warship, the Sierra Madre, on 2nd Thomas Shoal and the Spratly Islands in 1999 to shore up its maritime claims. The shoal is located roughly 190 kilometers off the western coast of Palawan Island. The Sierra Madre is decades old and will eventually sink without maintenance. Manila has said it intends to repair the vessel instead of replacing it, but carrying out repair work risks resistance from China. A senior Philippine official told Nikkei that Manila and Washington have begun informal discussions about the vessel's structure as a part of efforts to draft a concrete repair plan. One of the issues under discussion is how long Sierra Madre can remain in place without repair. Developing a timeline is critical to determining how much time the Allies have to work with. The vessel has been a major source of friction between the Philippines and China, which says it has historical rights over nearly all of the South China Sea and has rejected Manila's own maritime claims. Chinese vessels have repeatedly harassed Philippine ships attempting to carry materials, food and fuel to a small contingent of Philippine Marines stationed on the Sierra Madre. The Philippine officials said the U.S. could provide help, such as transportation of materials and security, while repair work takes place. The two sides have not yet discussed such details, the official added. While declining to comment on specific assistance to the Philippines, a senior U.S. defense official fully backed Manila's policy of repairing the aging vessel and indicated U.S. willingness to provide aid at Manila's request. In a joint effort, the U.S. and the Philippines deployed naval forces to address the situation. Reports suggest that the Chinese vessels were not only present, but actively engaging in activities that posed a threat to regional stability. The South China Sea has been a hotbed of geopolitical tension. This incident adds another layer to the complex relations between the U.S., China, and the Philippines. How will this impact the broader geopolitical landscape? Beyond the diplomatic fallout, the incident raises serious questions about maritime security. We explore the challenges faced by nations in safeguarding their territorial waters and the potential risks associated with such confrontations. And that wraps up our coverage of the escalating tensions in the South China Sea. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on global affairs. Signing off. Stay informed, stay curious.